This is the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast with Mike Kinnett and Ryan Herbert of ProStatus Financial, now celebrating 20 years helping families build successful retirements and lasting family legacies. Mike is a financial planner and estate planning attorney with a master's degree in tax and 4-time Amazon best-selling author. Ryan is a 5-star Wealth Management Award winner and top-ranked financial advisor by Forbes. Now, the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast.
You know, it's a big question that you may have because a lot of people have it. You know, you got your life savings and you need it to last you for the rest of your life. And you go to see a financial advisor and you should be a little leery of what's going to happen. You know, do I trust this person? And all those are good things to be thinking about. So as it pertains to you watching today, you're here on the Savvy Investor with ProStatus. We want to give you, I guess, a little bit of insight on what that is, because you're coming in for the first time to talk to somebody about your finances, and you have to, you know, what do you bring them? Do you bring them all your account information? You know, what to bring, what not to bring. So that's why, you know, we're doing this YouTube episode about what to bring to your first appointment. Ryan, I want to go to you. That's a big question for a lot of people because it is a big step. You're talking about the rest of their lives, turning over their life's work, their life savings. So, you know, what are some of the key documents that we should bring and gather before we go see you at ProStatus?
So, I mean, you know, every financial advisor is different in kind of what they want you to do. I think that, you know, if you're going to see an advisor for the first time and they're asking you to just bring everything, well, you know, they're going to be giving you just generic advice on, you know, what they can see in you know, the 10 minutes that they're going to look at those documents right in front of you. And it's just going to be very generic informational. And it's probably going to be much more of a sales meeting of, all right, well, you know, here's the returns that you've been getting. Here's what I can do for you, that type of thing. But what makes us here at ProStatus different is that when you set up your phone call, you know, because the very first step is to set up an information phone call with my pair planning team with Lawrence and Eric and Rob. But really what we're doing is we're asking you to send us documents ahead of time for that phone call, or to have those documents ready for you for that phone call. And what we're going to want to see, what we're going to talk about is, you know, your most recent account statements, whether it's a TSP, a 401k, your 403bs, your IRAs, your brokerage accounts, all those things. Because what we're trying to find out is, you know, not only what the total dollar value is that you have, but what you are actually owning. I want to see the individual positions in your account. And I want to see the full account statements because I want to be able to tell you everything that's going on in the account. I want to tell you all about the risk that you're taking in all your accounts and the risk you're taking across the board. But more importantly, I want to see those full statements because I want to be able to see what fees you're paying, because most people don't know what they're actually paying in fees. You know, I think I pay my financial advisor something, but I have no idea how much it is, you know. And when you send me these documents, you know, black out the account numbers. That's not really what I'm after. I just want to see what's actually in the account. So that's the first thing that I ask for you provide to me ahead of time. That I want to.
And this is through like a secure portal and all that good stuff, right?
Okay. So we can do it online. I have a very secure online portal, you know, that I think is very secure. It's supposed to be regulated and all that stuff. Sure. But, you know, so people can upload them to us. People have dropped them by the office. And then people have also sent them to us via FedEx, where I send you out an envelope, you put them in, and then you send it back to me. So it's, you know, you have tracking and all that stuff, but you're sending me those documents. And then I also want to see your most recent tax returns, the past 2 years of tax returns, because part of what we are going to be talking about is, you know, what does your tax situation look like right now? What type of tax planning can we do right now? And then how can we help save you money on taxes for the future? So I need the most recent tax returns, normally the past 2 years. And I realize that things do change, but it gives me a nice baseline to be looking at them. And once again, you black out Social Security numbers. Account numbers. I don't care about that type of thing. I'm looking at those documents. And then I want to see, you know, what, if you have life insurance, what those life insurance policies are. If you have long-term care insurance, I want to see those things. I want to see your estate plan documents, your wills, your power of attorney, all that stuff. So that way, you know, I have a really solid picture of your financial plan before you come in to see us. And, that's what leads us into that first conversation where we're going to be talking about what your goals are for retirement with my paraplanning team. And, the process to get all that started is you call the office, 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. You set up this 15-minute call. That's really all the time it takes, where we're asking you a bunch of questions and you're providing us those documents. Or, you go online to thesavvyinvestorradio.com. And, you can click on the link in the description of the video below, and that'll take you right to the website, and you can schedule your appointment right there. But that'll get you set up for that very first appointment where we're gathering that information. Then after that, what happens is, my team will prepare a financial plan for you. They'll put together a financial plan that is customized to you. It's not generic. It's not some 800-page thing that they're just putting a bunch of stuff in the computer and hit enter. Is we're actually sitting down and looking at all the variables of your financial plan and coming up with a strategy for you. So then you come in for that meeting. And what I want for you to bring in that meeting is anything that you really have questions about, that you want to ask me about specifically, because I'm going to have a pretty good idea of what's going on with your investments, what's going on with your financial plan. If you have really pointed questions, I'll be able to address them specifically versus just giving you this generic information. And that really is kind of what makes our process different as far as what we do for our clients, what we're providing to you. You're actually walking away with information that shows you, here's what Ryan and his team think of my current situation. And here's specifically what Ryan and the team at ProStatus are going to do for us. Here's how much money we're paying in fees versus here's how much would be with them. Here's how much money we're going to be paying taxes versus if we take this tax plan, here's how much money we can save on taxes. And then here's exactly what an income plan would be like for retirement, where, we're seeing here's where income's coming from day 1, day 2, day 10, 30 years down the road. And that's really what it looks like for that very first time you come into the office.
Yeah, the first time's a very, very big deal. So 2 things that I have. Number 1, are you going to try to sell us anything in that first appointment?
I'm not, I hate being sold things. When I'm buying a car, it's the most frustrating thing that I think that anybody ever comes across, because you have that salesman who's trying to sell you something, or you accidentally put, your information online for something and they just keep calling you and calling you and calling you and trying to sell you something. I hate being sold. I think that everybody in my office hates being sold. So, it really is this is an opportunity for you to come in the office and sit down and ask questions and get that information. I am not trying to sell you anything when you come in and sit down. I really believe it is a low, very, very low pressure, low stress environment, because that's the environment that I would want if I was going through this process myself, because it is very stressful.
Yeah.
You're opening yourself up to somebody who you barely know, unless you've been listening to us on the radio or watching me on YouTube, and you think you have an idea of how nice of a guy I am.
Look at that smile. Look at that smile.
But it's stressful. And so what we're trying to do is take the stress out of retirement planning, because it's supposed to be an exciting time in your life when you're getting ready for retirement, getting excited for the future and what's going to happen. You want to have as little stress as possible when you're going into it. So, to answer the question, no, we're not trying to sell you anything the moment you come in the door.
Well, you actually already transitioned into my second and final point that I wanted to make, and then we'll wrap here. But what mindset should we have when we come in to see you guys? Okay, the financial stuff, that can be figured out for the most part, because you got to be compliant here. So for the most part, but emotionally, where should our heads be at when we go to see you for that first appointment? Should we be happy? Should we be scared? How do we mentally prepare for that?
I think most people are nervous when they come in to see me, because they think that, I've asked them that I want $8,000 a month in retirement, and I don't know if I have enough money. So a lot of people are nervous. Can I retire when I want it at 62 or 61 or 65? That's how most people feel when they come in. But, it's not just about the numbers. It's not just about, do I have enough for retirement? Do I, what's the tax situation? It's really what I want people to think about when they're coming in is, okay, I'm going to retire at 62 or 63 or 65 or whatever that number is. But more importantly, what are you doing the day after you retire? What are you doing 3 months after you retire? What are you doing with the next 20, maybe even 30 years of your life? Because it's not as if I retire and then I'm going to sit on the couch for the rest of my life. You know, my father, when he retired at 55, he did that for about a month and a half. And then it got to the point where my mom would come out of the bedroom in the morning and say,
"Get out of here, Jack.
What you all day? Just sit around." So, you know, he had to figure out what he was going to do. You can only play so much golf. You can only do your hobby so many times, you know, so he eventually ended up getting a part-time job, and that's what he does now. He just something to do. But you want to make sure you have that plan for yourself in retirement. You want to make sure you have that plan for retirement, for income and taxes and the financial aspect of things. But what are you going to be doing for yourself in retirement? And that's what you really should be thinking about when you come in, because honestly, I'm going to ask you that question. What are you doing the Tuesday after you retire? What's your day look like? I can't tell you how many people are just kind of give me this blank stare, and I'm like, all right,
really?
Well, let's talk about this, you know, because it is about the financial aspect, but then I do kind of become a little bit of a sounding board and a therapist for my clients for that same aspect, is really helping them figure out what you're doing with that next stage of your life, because they all took the steps. They either called my office or they clicked the link in the description below in the video, and they scheduled their complimentary consultation, and we had those conversations. And it, you know, I think it's a very rewarding hour to hour and a half that you're going to spend on your financial future.
Ryan Herbert, I'm going to hold you to this because you actually just created a whole new episode here on the YouTube page, and that is being a therapist. Because basically you're the guy between the husband and the wife trying to figure this thing out. So God bless you for that. I'm sure that there's a special place in heaven for you with that. So let's hold that, because I want to create, let's do a whole new episode, a whole new YouTube episode on that, and talk about that very same topic, because I think it's important. I mean, we're having to, you know, husband and wife, that, you know, God willing, you got to be with each other for the rest of your lives. So that's a whole other episode, and we're going to do that. As a matter of fact, we're going to do that one coming up next. So stay tuned here on the YouTube channel for that. But let's go ahead and wrap things up. I think this is a wrap here. If you have more information, if you have more questions, you can click the link in the description below again for that complimentary personalized review and get started on that appointment. So thanks again, man. I appreciate, and I know the folks appreciate you being here as well, because we get a lot of great information. So like we do every time, you get the final word, man. You get us out of here.
This is Ryan Herbert. Thank you so much for watching the Savvy Investor YouTube show. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and click that link below to schedule your complimentary consultation. We'll see you, the Savvy Investor, next week.
Advisory services offered through ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, a registered investment advisor. Insurance licensed in Maryland. ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, LLC is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if ProStatus Financial Advisors Group is licensed in your state, please call 410-863-1040. ProStatus Group, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency, and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through representatives of ProStatus Financial Advisors Group.